Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. So for today's lecture, we are going to look back on the syntax on the programming, and it's going to relate to what you have learned so far in your C++ programming in your first year. So that knowledge will be going to be used again over here in your MikroC programming. Okay, so we are going to look at the syntax, some of the very simple syntax that are given by the MikroC software. We're going to look at some the functions and how we can create the functions based on the C++ codings. All right. So when you launch your MikroC and you start your program, a new program, you are going to be given these very simple lines, which is the void main bracket and curly bracket. So this is a function which is the main functions where you're going to write the program inside this one. So you have the curly bracket open and you must have the one close the curly bracket open. So it's going to be your body here to write down your codes. Right? So here, what will be the meaning of void main? So if you go back to your definitions on void main, so the void main indicates that the main function is the main functions for the programs, okay, and will not return any value. So the void main functions is the body where you execute your program, and it will not return anything. It's just going to execute the lines one by line, one by one, from top to bottom. All right, top to bottom, right? So for example, if you have another functions where they call it in main like this, so this is integer, this is another type of function. It's not void. Void means nothing going to be returned, but for the other one, like for this case, integer is going to return the value when you run the program. So that is basically the meanings of void. So there will be no return value after you execute the functions. Okay, so go back here. So when you do your program here, when you run this program, it will not going to return any value to another program, to another main program. So this is your main program. So here, for example, you can start to write down your code, right? So MikroC. So let's check that how we can write down here. Again, the first thing you need to do is you need to set up your port, right? So example here, I'm going to use my port B. So the first one, of course, the first setting you can use thrice B is equivalent to 0B 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 and semicolon. So this command will set up the whole 8 pins on port B as the output, and then later I'm going to generate the signal from port B. Port B is equivalent to 0B 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 1. Okay, so these two lines going to execute your setup for your port B and going to generate the signal, which is a voltage either 0 or 5 volt through the pins, because you already set up all the pin as your output. Okay, let's look at this one first. I just want to show you guys how it works. So I'm going to build all, and then I'm going to run this one. Right, you can open up this one. Make sure this is always 20 megahertz before you start the program, and you can select the hex file. This is the latest one, 9:35 AM. Then you can run this one. You can see the first 4 pins is going to generate 5 volts. You just want to make sure that is it correctly generate 5 volts. You can go to your voltmeter. Here, here, Then you have the ground. Okay, you can run this one, and then you can see the blue color will indicate 0 volt and the red color will indicate 5 volts, which is from your program here. Okay, all right, now let's look at how I can do another writing process, which is some of you did that but do not understand what you guys actually writing about. So when you go for 0B, this is a binary numbers. You must use the next one, all should be binary only, 0 or 1. All right, you are not allowed to have two. For example, if I choose this one as number 2 and then you try to compile this one, yeah, it's going to have a problem here. So how to go to your problem, and then you can just go over there, right here. You double click here, you can just look at where the commands is going to be there. So you can see that it will be your area of problem. So here the cases will be here, right? So you can just use only 1 or 0. That will be your command for 0B. So right now I'm going to do 2 pins going to be set up as your input. Okay, so let's run again this one, build this one. And then you can go back to your Proteus, stop this one, and the latest one is pointing to the right one, and I'm just going to run this one. So 2, right? So 2 of the pins over here, if I remove this one, because I set up 2 pins as your input, right? So I'm going to remove this one. All right. This is output, correct? But the 2 pins over here is set up as your input, so by default there will be no voltage going out. Okay, this is not going to be going out. So let's purchase again. All right,